So we're all here at Shriekfest 19, having an amazing time. Great red carpet, great party about to happen. And why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what it is you're here to promote.
I'm Caroline Williams, originally of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I am starring in Greenlight with Chase Williamson and Chris Browning. It's directed by Graham Denman. It's a noir thriller. It's phenomenal. It's got a little bit of everything. But it's beautifully constructed. It's got a lot of twists and turns, and it all makes sense at the end.
Right on.
Which is great.
I gotta say, I clearly recognize you. Texas Chainsaw 2 is legitimately my favorite of the franchise.
Thank you.
So how did you feel about them using it in the new Child's Play movie?
I was thrilled. I love that show. I love that Fede Alvarez is going to take another turn to have his Texas Chainsaw Massacre moment. He's doing a reinterpretation or a reboot of the film. I think that's fascinating. But I love Lars Klugberg and I love Luke LeBeau from Orion. They're wonderful guys.
Absolutely. Right, well, before I let you go, what do you think is the craziest movie you've ever seen, and that's whatever it means to you?
The Cook, the Thief, his wife, and her lover.
I've heard of that. I haven't seen it though.
Peter Greenaway. It's got it's a rat fight. It's great.
Right on.
It's amazing. It's very avant-garde.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
Peter Greenaway is amazing.
You need to get in there with these guys.
Thank you so much for talking to me.
What am I doing? Where am I going?
This way. All right.
No, we just watched The Room, so.
Oh God. Yeah, then I bought my copy from Tommy.
I'm going to see.
Oh, did you really? Yeah.
Oh.
My brother. He goes to all the conventions.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah,
of course, because I mean, he's got the winner of all time.
Exactly.
Anyway, so we'll do the interview.
All right. So we're all here at Shriekfest 2019, 19th year, having a great time. And what is it that you guys are here to promote? And please introduce yourself.
I'm Jen Badacsci.
And I'm Christopher Allan Poe, and we wrote a screenplay that's in the finals. It's called Dark Noise. And Dark Noise is a take on. It's about a woman who discovers that her son is schizophrenic, only to find out later that his hallucinations are actually glimpses into a horrifying reality that humanity may not survive. So
I'm very okay with this.
Yeah. So anyway, we were talking earlier. One of the reasons why we got into this screenplay really made sense to us is in this modern world where everybody will just believe whatever. Can I say that?
You can say whatever you want.
Whatever the fuck you tell them 3 times in a row, then all of a sudden, that's the truth. And so we asked the question, if not a human, what nasty things are out there in the world that might prey upon that weakness?
Right, that we're normalizing as far as the monstrous goes, right? And that people have no idea that what's right around them is the most monstrous thing.
Right.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah. And they're on their phones and they're taking opioids.
Right.
I'm on my phone. I don't even.
We're on our phone, not today.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, very cool. So before I let you guys go, what do you think is like the craziest movie you've ever seen? And that's whatever it means to you. So for me, it's something like Gaspar Noé's Climax.
I've got one that is the weirdest fucking movie I've ever seen, okay? And this includes The Room.
Okay, all right.
Terror Vision.
I've heard of this.
You haven't seen it?
No, it's from the 80s, right?
You wasted your life into this point.
All right.
Terror Vision is the most disgusting movie I've ever seen. It's got like these weird orgy creature things in bed. It's fucking weird, man. Watch that one.
Oh, I'm down.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna
Terror
do it.
Vision.
All right.
Terror Vision's the
Aside
one.
from Terror Vision.
So what was yours?
It showed like this human centipede.
Oh.
You know, I don't know. I don't
2
know.
and 3.
Really?
See, here's the thing, I'm actually red colorblind, and so the fact that 2 was in black and white was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Yeah.
I can't believe you went back for seconds on that.
Right? No, I know, right? All right.
Awesome.
All right, thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, brother.
All right, we're all here at Shriekfest 19.
Yes, we are.
Having an amazing time.
I'm having a wonderful time.
And why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you're here for.
My name is Jeffery Weaver. I'm a producer, co-writer of She Fell, which is in the Shorts program. And it's a short horror film, of course.
Okay.
About a lady who checks into a hospital with an injury that it's not clear what happened, and once it's assessed what's happened, there's a little payback that gets bestowed.
All right.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. There's a mysterious female vigilante who's there to take care of business.
Right, well, so how's it feel to actually like have something finished in a festival?
You know, it feels really good. I've started a lot more films than I've finished, so it's nice to have one that's going to actually be seen by human beings.
Right on. And before I let you go, what do you think is the craziest film you've ever seen? And that's whatever it means to you.
Hands down, Schizopolis by Steven Soderbergh.
I am going to have to look into this. I'm not familiar.
It is a masterpiece of insanity.
Okay.
And I mean, the title sort of says it all.
A little bit.
And it's screened at Slam Dance in 1997.
Okay.
All right. And it's often overlooked, but it is awesome and well worth your time and money.
Hey, man, you gave me something to look into. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right. So we're all having a great time here on the red carpet at Shriekfest 19. And we're about to go into this crazy party, have a good time.
Yeah.
And so why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you're here to promote.
Well, my name's Chris Browning, and I'm here with Greenlight. It was a tiny little movie that I'd almost forgotten about. We shot it like 2 years ago.
Okay.
And it kind of sat dormant in post for a minute. And then somebody, I don't know who they found, but someone saw this and said, "You guys have a good thing here," and threw more money at it, got it put together, and it's like the featured movie at Shriekfest. And it's not even a horror. It's not really a horror. It's more of a psych thriller kind of thing.
Hey, that counts.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's no slasher stuff. It's a mind fuck. It's a cool movie.
Right, hey, psychological, some of the greatest stuff, man.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
for sure. Are there any specifics you want to talk about, or like what's your favorite memory from making the movie?
Oh God. Well, I had a blast because he let me just run. You know, I just kind of made shit up as I went and ad-libbed entire scenes and stuff. And Chase, working with Chase, I'm the producer who gives Chase an opportunity to direct his first feature.
Right on.
And all hell ensues.
Very cool.
But they let us improvise a lot, so that was cool.
Right on, man. All right, well, before I let you go, what do you think is the craziest movie you've seen? And that's whatever it means to you.
I thought about that. I don't, like, you know, I guess as far as at the time, having seen nothing like it ever before, and I was like hugely disturbed, would have to be The Exorcist.
Oh, that counts.
Yeah.
That definitely counts.
I mean, that was like no other movie that had ever been done. I mean,
The effects were revolutionary. Yeah,
oh
absolutely.
yeah, it changed the whole genre.
People had fucking heart attacks, man.
Yeah.
Right on, man.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking crazy.
All right, well, I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you.
All right. We're all having a great time here at Shriekfest 19.
That's right.
Red carpet, about to have a great party.
Yep.
And why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you're here to promote.
My name is Jamal Hodge. I'm a writer-director. I've been lucky as a writer to be here for a second time. This year I got 2 screenplays here, a feature and a short. One is called Finding You. It's a short film about, it's a love story about necrophiliac and a cannibal.
I am okay with this.
Fall in love with each other. You know what I mean? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And then I have another one called The Kind Ones, which is a film about monsters and gun violence in America.
Okay. All right. Good times, man.
Yeah, it's happy stuff, family films.
Is this the first festival you submitted to with these, or?
No, we was The Kind Ones was in for Finding You, yes. For The Kind Ones, it got submitted to Crimson Screen. That was a finalist.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
And then before I let you go, what do you think is the craziest movie you've ever seen? And that's whatever it means to you.
Oh, I mean, I'm almost immune because my life was worse than almost any movie, my youth. But I will have to say a Serbian film.
That's up there in terms of what the hell am I watching? Yeah.
Yeah, but even that wasn't that bad. You know the shit that scares me? It's those real jolly fucking like movies. That's just terrifying me. I don't understand that shit.
See, I can watch people get torn apart and eat my breakfast while cackling.
Yeah.
But if you want me to watch a drama like 2 days and one night where you have to beg for your job, I'm not down.
Or the Notebook and shit.
No.
That's the most terrifying movie of all time. You know what I mean? Like,
all right, man. Hey, best of luck.
This is my 7th year at Shriekfest. I am one of the 4 people that have 2 projects in 2 scripts in Shriekfest this year. And they were all experimental. They were all, let's see how far we can push the horror genre. So,
do you want to give us the titles real quick?
Along a Dark Road is my short. You put your hand around me,
we're
baby.
Good, we're good. Yeah.
Right. Along a Dark Road is my short script, and None Greater Than is my feature, which is about how to create a God who is better than our God. And I lay out every step for how you do it.
There it is. Tell everybody your name again real quick.
Jeffery, Stackhouse.
Right on, man.
Thank you.
But before I let you go, whatever it means to you, what do you think is the craziest film you've ever seen?
I thought, well, not craziest, but what was The Evil Within?
That was
2
so
years
good.
ago?
That was
it was
so
good. Look, I think that. He thinks that. It's true. In my opinion, the last 10 years, it is the definition of horror. It is the definition of how you push your parameters of horror. So, as somebody that arrives with a fucking drink before... Oh, wait! I said the word fucking.
That's fine. Nobody cares around here.
It is such a good film. One should watch it. It's the man that directed it and edited it died of meth overdose. It's a wonderful film. It was really
The Evil Within. Everybody go see it right now.
Everybody.
So we're all here at Shriekfest 19, red carpet, having a great time right before we get to the party. And why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what it is you're here to promote.
Hi, my name is Travis Heermann. I'm an author and a screenwriter. I've got a feature film that's a finalist here this weekend called Where the Devil Resides. Okay. And it is a 19th century supernatural apocalypse now.
I'm so okay with that.
That's the story.
Right on, man. And so is this the first festival you submitted to, or have you been to a few?
No, I've been to a few. I've had this script at Genre Blast and Crimson Screen Festival, the New Orleans Horror Festival, and I was at last year was my first Shriekfest, so I'm excited to be back.
It's a good festival.
Yeah.
It's a really good festival.
Yeah.
And before I let you go, whatever it means to you, what do you think is the craziest film you've ever seen?
The one that jumps immediately to mind is one that I saw at Genre Blast called Jesse's Supernormal Regular Average Day.
I'm gonna have to find that.
Oh, it's a trip.
Okay.
It is. The filmmaker is named Brian K. Williams. He did another film called Space Babes or something like that.
Okay.
But I don't know. The Jesse's Supernormal Regular Average Day is just like this weird kind of LSD trip. With a couple of really appealing actresses, and it was just fun and thought-provoking at the same time, and super shoestring budget, like shot in somebody's apartment, right?
Nice.
You know, but it was great.
I'm gonna have to find it. All right, man. Thanks for talking to me.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so we're all having a great time here on the red carpet at Shriekfest. That's right. We're gonna go into this party, hear some good music. That's right, man. Get a good drink.
That's right.
So, what are you here doing today, man?
You know, I'm here to support the artists and the filmmakers in this film festival. I'm a filmmaker too, and a director and an artist in this film industry. So, I want to here to support people, and also have my feature that I'm promoting as well.
What is your feature?
The feature is called The Refuge. It's basically about this getaway driver in Los Angeles that gets caught up in this casino-ized money and a job involving casino-ized money, and all these people start coming after him and his loved ones and his acquaintances revolving around underground that's consuming ice money. So that's the short synopsis of it.
Right on.
But it's a crime thriller movie. It's my second feature. That's what I do is crime thriller, and I played the lead in it. I directed, wrote it, produced it, and printed at the Egyptian Theater. It was a theatrical release in LA. It's now on Amazon, Vimeo On Demand. It's coming to iTunes, Vudu, and hopefully Netflix and stuff. So
right,
I'm promoting that here. So
I don't think we got your name.
Keith Sutliff.
There it is. Okay, right on.
Yeah, remember the name.
All right, man. Before I let you go, what do you think the craziest movie you've ever seen is?
The craziest movie I've probably ever seen, what comes first to my mind, is The Machinist with Christian Bale.
Yes!
Right?
Yes!
Right? Isn't it awesome? He really dropped like 80 pounds for the movie. He dropped 80 pounds, like 115 pounds of true method acting. He's, well, I'm sure, I don't know, maybe you can tell them what it's about, but if people haven't seen it, it's basically about a guy who he gets lost in a grievance over death, basically, and starts hallucinating and stops eating. Weird things start happening. But anyways, that's probably the craziest movie.
Can Michael Ironside make a movie where he doesn't lose an arm? All right, well, thanks for talking to me.
Thanks for man.
Have a good time.
Good night, thanks.
We're all here having a great time on the red carpet at Shriekfest 19 before we go into this great party. And why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us what it is you're here to promote.
All right. So we have a film here. It's called Portal. I directed it and co-wrote it. And my name is Dean Alioto, and next to me is one of our co-stars,
Mike Watford.
Yeah.
Right on.
And so we're here promoting the film, and basically the film is a story about, you know what, I'm going to let you do it, because I've been doing this the whole time.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Oh, awesome, man. I'm honored. It's a film about a group of ghost hunters who are a little bit too honest for the network and have never actually caught a ghost and are facing being canceled, so they have to pull out all the stops, and when they do, all the stops come falling down, and as you said in the other one, the shit hits the fan, and the fan does not get unplugged, right? I think that's a great way to put it. Yeah.
All right.
And we have a lot of great actors in it, as well as Mike. We've got Ryan Merriman, we've got Jamie Tisdale, Najara Townsend, who did
Renato Zavaris.
and then we also have screen legend Heather Langenkamp.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
From Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right
And
on.
she screams in the movie.
Crap.
There it is.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah, I think I still have a little hearing loss in this.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, she brought it full on. She doesn't do a lot of acting late, and she came out and she's like, "All right, let's do it." And boy, she delivers.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So, do you guys have a favorite memory of making the film?
Besides yelling rap. What is?
Well, I'll say what I said to someone earlier. To me, my favorite part of it was the fact that the cast was an ensemble, and we really bonded. When you're making horror movies, you're up together really late at night in small, dark places, and it really helps if you form a bond. And that doesn't always happen. I can speak as an actor and say, actually, really, very rarely. But I still talk to all these guys, and it was really cool hanging out because even though we were up all hours of the night, every time that the bars were open, when the last shot was done, we were still hanging out together, and we still do. So to me, that was it's always cool to pull away genuine friendships and working relationships as well when you're doing a movie.
Most definitely.
And I've got a tie. My favorite is there's a scene that our lead actors, Jamie Tisdale and Ryan Merriman, have towards the end, and emotionally, they brought it. I mean, if I'm crying on set, it doesn't happen a lot, and it knocked me on my ass. The other favorite scene was one where I actually do some stunt driving, where I back the car up at high speed and do the old Jim Rockford style. Yeah, man, that was the bomb.
TJ Hooker.
So you want to know what our most messed up film is?
Yeah, what do you think the craziest film that you've ever seen is? And that's whatever it means to
Oh,
you.
I saw it last month.
Which one?
It's called The Man Who Shot Hitler and Then Killed the Bigfoot.
I saw this.
Oh my God.
It's pretty bonkers.
Holy
It's pretty
crap.
bonkers.
Sam Elliott acts his ass off. And
Wait, Sam Elliott is in that?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he's the lead.
he's the lead.
He is the man who kills Hitler and then the Bigfoot.
Oh my God.
In that order, I think, right?
Wow.
It is, yeah.
I can't believe I haven't heard of that. That's
Yeah.
insane.
It snuck on by, but I caught it. Saw
Right
it on
on.
Amazon. I'm like, this is
A buddy of mine and I actually saw it in the theater.
Did you?
We did.
You're a better man.
For me, that would be a movie called Santa Claus versus the Devil,
Okay.
which is actually a movie out of Mexico, dubbed into English when I saw it, very poorly dubbed into English, and it is exactly what the title suggests, the devil's trying to thwart Santa Claus because he deems him as a threat.
Right.
And I won't tell you if the devil wins or Santa Claus wins, but it's a pretty ridiculously crazy movie. And if you have a chance to get, I think it was made in the 60s.
Okay.
And if you ever have a chance to take a look at that movie, it's pretty insane.
I love this question because now I got a bunch of shit I got to find.
I know. That was going to be hard, though.
Before I let you go, I think earlier today on Twitter, you said, "What's he building in there?"
Ah, yes.
I was the guy that responded with the GIF. I just because I fucking love me some Tom Waits.
Yeah,
and I wanted to make sure one other nerd got it.
All right.
All right.
Oh, well, you left out. This guy is an amazing musician.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, great singer. This voice sounds. I want his timbre. I would kill for this.
Right?
Yeah, no.
I have a band called Stumpwaller. Check it out.
All right, I'll look into it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, thank you so much.
right, man.
Nice to
I'm
meet
looking
you.
forward to the film.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we're all having a great time here at Shriekfest 19.
Yeah.
Red carpet right before we go into this party. And why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us what you're here to promote.
I'm Barrett, Bowman, and here to promote Baby Bird,
Okay.
short film.
Yes, I'm Andrew Goulet. I wrote Baby Bird.
And he's in it. And I'm Katie Locke O'Brien, and we co-wrote Baby Bird, and I'm also in the cast.
I'll totally cut this if you don't want it in there, but does it have anything to do with the really disgusting term that I'm thinking of?
Probably.
All right, fair enough.
Maybe. I don't know.
It might.
Okay, so do you want to tell us anything about it, or is it so short you can't really without ruining it?
Yeah, it's one of those things, probably.
The twist is important, but I guess that we could just say it's about a couple that attends a game night that goes horribly awry.
And we made it as a comedy, but the more screenings we do, the more we realize that there are equal laughs and screams and people who put their face down and never want to look up again, which we're very proud of. And so we're very excited to be at Shriekfest.
Right on.
Lots of covering of the eyes.
I mean, that's the best kind.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't know if you guys have ever been to the screening room here before, but it's a wonderful room.
Yeah.
The acoustics, the chairs, everything. So yeah, you got a
I
good spot.
can't wait to make them all upset that they came.
Yeah.
All right, so before I let you guys go, what do you think the craziest film you've ever seen is, and that's whatever it means to you?
I recently saw this movie, Cop Car, that I'm obsessed with.
Okay.
Yes. That is crazy in an awesome way. But check that out.
Mine is hands down. It's a documentary called Kung Fu Elliot, and it's about this guy who says that he is the Chuck Norris of Canada. And it is the best example ever of a documentary that started out meaning to be one thing, and then they discover that's not the movie they were making at all, and some insane shit goes down, and by the end of it, I was mind blown.
I love this question because now I got a bunch of stuff.
You have to watch it. You have to see it. It's so good. It's so good.
I'm still at a loss. I'm surprised by the question, and I can't. Yeah.
I want to. Cop car is two 10-year-old boys find this cop car unlocked with the keys in it. They decide to take it for a joyride, and the sheriff finds out that two kids got his car and he's going after him, and it's Kevin Bacon.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down.
With a mustache. He's just pissed. He wants his cop car back. It's fucking amazing. It was made in 2016.
All right.
Never heard of this?
How do you let that one slip by?
I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm really looking forward to it, guys.
Sweet.
Thanks for talking to me.
Yeah, so nice to meet you.
And have a good time.
Thank you so much.
All right. So we're having a great time here at Shriekfest 19. Red carpet before we got to this party.
Yes, and with Michael Donahue.
Right?
Dude, this guy rocks. He's a big enthusiast, and you can hire him. He's going to help commentate on Artik. But I know you'll work at any big old broadcast company, right?
I'll do whatever anybody wants.
Yes.
All right, man. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your film?
Cool. So my name is Jerry G. Angelo. I play a bad guy in my movie called Artik. Produced it, and the writer and director is Tom Badacsci. And it's about a comic book obsessed serial killer that collides with this dude and kick his butt. And yeah, you guys can go see the movie.
That sounds the perfect kind of bonkers.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite memory from making the film?
Let's see. Yeah, I remember we shot in the dead of winter, and it was freezing cold. It was night shoots. We had a bunch of kids there, and one of the kids, we had to amputate his foot. I mean, the poor little kid, but he was only a little extra, so it didn't really matter. We fed him pizza and stuff. He was happy just to be on the film.
What'd you do with the foot?
We ate it. We ate the foot.
Right on, man.
Yeah, we're excited. festival circuit, and we've won over 20 Best Film and Best Actor awards. So we're really excited about that.
Man.
Yeah.
All right. So before I let you go, what do you think the craziest film you've ever seen is?
Well, I'm a big David Lynch fan.
Okay.
And I just remember watching, he has some great movies, but I remember watching Eraserhead. And I saw that at Cine Vegas in like 1995 when they showed it there. They had him as a guest. And I asked him, and he's like, make movies to please yourself. Because you can throw something out there, and, some people love it, some people hate it, whatever. He says, just make things to please yourself. And that's always stuck with me. And so I take pride in just make yourself happy. Do what you want to do, and, and just have fun.
Most definitely, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear about those people that, they make a film and they're like, I can't watch anything I make. I'm like, then why did you make it?
Yeah.
Right on.
I like watching all eat popcorn. Oh, shit, remember when I did that? It's so cool. Oh, yeah. That was good.
Right on, man. Thanks so much for talking to me, and I can't wait to see it.
Sweet, man. See you tomorrow night.
We're all here at Shriekfest 19, having a great time on the red carpet. About to go into this party, have a great, great, great time.
Can't wait.
And why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're here to promote.
All right, I'm Clark Schaffer. I'm the writer-producer of Listen and also the producer of Nocturne. And Listen screens at 11 o'clock on Saturday, and Nocturne screens at noon on Sunday.
So that's a short film?
Yeah, they're both short films.
They're both shorts.
Yeah, Listen I wrote as a domestic violence piece to bring awareness to domestic violence, and it's a little horror movie as well. And so, yeah, it's pretty an important subject to me. I wanted to do a cause piece, and I think that's one of the most important causes. So I hope we help a lot of people.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I got some inspiration and some personal experiences in domestic violence. So thank God not a perpetrator, but I've got family members and
Thankfully
friends.
not. Yeah, there it is.
Yes, and so that's very near and dear to me. And then Nocturne, I met a great filmmaker by the name of Michael Trincati, and he wrote and produced and directed this, and I helped him because I think he's a very talented man, and we made a really good scary short. So that one's real fun too. Got a great little twist on a monster.
I really I feel that people ignore shorts to this weird degree because they're not something you can go to a theater and see.
Right.
But some of the most interesting storytelling and some of the biggest risks I've ever seen have been in short films.
I agree with you, and they're so motivating as a filmmaker. I really enjoy watching them because they give you so much inspiration, and it teaches you a lot about filmmaking, the do's and the don'ts. How that worked. Man, that's amazing. That didn't look so good. That didn't work so well. How will I fix it? Or how will I not do the same thing in my film? So yeah, they're very educational as well. I really love short films. I love the content. So
right on. Well, before I let you go get your drink on, what do you think is the craziest film you've ever seen?
I've been thinking about that question. There's so many crazy movies. I almost put Antichrist up there.
Dude, yes.
That is one of the craziest. Phantasm.
This amazing psychological drama that turns into what the fuck am I watching?
Exactly. Yeah.
Phantasm is great.
Yeah. Phantasm I thought was great. You just mentioned Climax. I love Climax. It's so weird.
So nuts.
Just anything David Lynch does is off the wall. He's one of my favorites. So that's a tough question. I've seen too many movies.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The ones that affect me are the ones that I dig the most. So that's what I try to write. Things that are going to affect. You're going to walk out of my screening, my film, going, man, I don't know if I like that, and then it's going to haunt you for a month, and that's what I want. I want to haunt you.
I think even if you don't like something, if you can't stop thinking about it,
exactly,
then it did something right.
Arrival did that.
Yeah, there you go.
30-minute conversation with people. Oh my God, this and it. I love movies like that make you think and make you talk about it afterwards.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, well, I'm really looking forward to them, and I'll see you around the festival.
All right, sounds good. Nice talking to you.
Take care, man. So we're all having an amazing time here at Shriekfest 19.
Yes, we are.
Red carpet before we go in and have a great time at the party.
Yes.
And why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us what you're here to promote.
My name is Marc Cartwright. I'm here to promote the short film We Die Alone.
Yep, I'm Baker Chase Powell, and I'm also here with We Die Alone. I was the lead actor, and
I'm the director.
Marc was the director.
Very well, right?
Yeah.
So is it so short you can't really tell us anything, or did you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Oh yeah, no, I can tell you. So it's about a loner that he hides behind the internet, sort of ghosting women online, and then one day by chance he meets his new next door neighbor and spirals out of control trying to connect with her in the real world. So that's the basic premise. There's more to it, but that you'll have to see. Can't reveal too much.
Yeah, I was just saying that like there's something about shorts that like people ignore them for whatever reason, but the biggest risks, some of the most interesting visuals.
Oh yeah.
Shorts, man.
Yeah, because you have to tell, you have to be able to tell a story in like however 5, 10, 15 minutes, Sometimes when you have a feature, it gives you more time to, hash out the idea and think it out and build world, and you have to, with the short, you have to do that in seconds, so.
Most definitely.
They should get more credit.
All right. Well, before I let you guys go have a good time, what do you think the craziest film you've ever seen is? And that's whatever it means to you.
Right. I know like back in the, I'd say like early 90s on HBO late at night, they would always have these like, I think it was either HBO or one of the cable stations, I don't know. But they would always have these like really crazy, twisted, weird movies on. And I would always stay up later than my bedtime and like, I'd always find them and like, they were always just strange. So. Not that there's a specific movie, but it was more that
HBO in the 80s.
HBO in the 80s.
Just that late night staying up when you
There was a lot. I think there was a lot less censorship then, so it's like you could do more.
It was like that weird pre-code era of film cinema. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Right on. Do you?
I was thinking about that. I think just as of late, like recently, probably Midsummer.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I didn't see the director's cut. I just saw the first
I keep
release.
hearing about the director's cut. So
it's like half hour longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it like apparently his first cut was like 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He's a really exciting director, and I look forward to everything that he's got going on. So yeah.
Most definitely.
Midsummer.
So you should put him in a movie.
Yeah.
There it is. Well, I'm really looking forward to it. Thanks for talking to me, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
So we're all having a great time here on the red carpet, Shriekfest 19. We're going to go into this party, get our drink on.
I'm excited for it.
Before we do that, though, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're here to promote.
Absolutely. So I'm Sam Peirce. I'm here with an unproduced screenplay. It's called The Suburban Kaleidoscope. It's a suburban horror story about a family in the suburbs. Husband, wife, daughter, 2 sons. And right up front, son commits suicide.
Did you say a succubus to suicide?
A son commits suicide.
Oh, a son commits suicide. Fair enough.
And the film itself explores their grief. But as this family is kind of being torn apart by grief, the daughter begins to think she's seeing her brother's ghost.
Right on, man.
Yeah, so it kind of strips down the tropes of the haunted house genre and gives you a house that like isn't a creepy old mansion. It gives you a family that doesn't have some like deep dark secret.
Okay.
And just you kind of watch as these people spiral out of control, where like only this little girl is kind of keeping it together, trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
So is this a feature or short?
Feature.
Feature, right on. And you mentioned haunted house. Have you ever seen the Japanese film from the 70s called House?
I haven't. It's a blind spot, and I'm like, it kills me that I haven't. I know.
The man used every single filmmaking technique available at the time. It's a criterion. You got to pick it up.
I know. It's one of those ones where it's like, oh no, hide my shame.
No, I mean, that's just one of the craziest films I've ever seen.
Definitely.
What do you think is the craziest film you've ever seen?
Okay, so this is a weird one that no one's ever heard of. It's a French found footage film called Descent into Darkness, My European Nightmare.
You're right, I haven't heard of that, but I'm going to look into it.
It's worth watching. It released direct to YouTube and then was taken down from YouTube because illegal filming of French police. But what made this crazy is the guy filmed over the course of 3 months. He got over 90 hours of footage, and it's just about this almost like a Borat-like character, but who descends into like drugs and alcohol. He's trying to make this documentary and goes absolutely crazy. And if you saw this thing when it went on YouTube, you would think you were watching a snuff film.
Oh,
it's insane. And like I've seen a screening in theaters, which was weird.
Okay.
Everyone was uncomfortable. Dude, it's nuts and it's worth checking out.
Right on, man. I'm gonna have to do that. We're all here having a great time on the red carpet at Shriekfest 19. About to go have some drinks at this party, Shriek-teenies and all.
Shriek-teenies, baby.
Shriek-teenies.
I'm gonna drink all of them.
They're so good. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're here to promote.
All right, my name's Brian Hanson. I'm the co-writer, director, and I also produce The Black String.
A lot of my team can't be here. Some of them are in New Orleans for New Orleans Horror Fest right now. Got a producer, Richard Hanley, that co-wrote it, produced it with me. And right here in Hollywood, like 10 years ago, my buddy Andy Warner and I, when we were bartending, weren't making Shriekteenies yet. We came up with the story. 10 years later, I made it with my buddy Rich Hanley. So it's called The Black String. It's kind of like a Rosemary's Baby, Jacob's Ladder, Black Swan psychological thriller.
I'm so okay with this.
Yeah. So if you like that kind of, is this happening or is this in his head? That's our movie, and it's centered around. It stars Frankie Muniz, who plays this lonely 7-Eleven like convenience store clerk, and he's just so dissatisfied and lonely, and he kind of has a past issue. And he decides to go on a blind date with this beautiful, mysterious girl. Goes on the blind date. All hell breaks loose after that. Starts to, weird stuff starts to grow on him. He's having nightmares, and he thinks like, oh my God, I've been set up. Some sinister plot. Friends and family are like, no man, it's in your head. You're having problems again. Time to take the medication.
There it is. Okay. So you said it was like 10 years in the making. How does it feel to finally get it done?
Fantastic. We really want to do that kind of micro-budget primer Shane Carruth movie 10 years ago.
Yes.
Andy went and started a family in Florida. I went to the Army.
Okay.
Came back. Went to film school at Mount St. Mary's here in LA, and met our producing team, and just kind of picked it up. Like picked up where I left off 4 or 5 years later. So it feels like mission accomplished.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before I let you go and have a Shriekteenie.
Yes.
What do you think is the craziest film you've ever seen, and that's whatever it means to you?
Good question. I think probably Cannibal Holocaust.
Yes.
Because it starts so slow, and I didn't know what I was getting into. And I would say that it's the original Blair Witch.
Oh yeah.
Watch Cannibal Holocaust and think Blair Witch. That's intense. And I'll give another shout out to a movie I just saw at Fright Fest in London, Joe Bagos' Bliss. If you just want to see straight balls to the walls, insanity, watch Bliss.
I'm gonna have to find that. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Got it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So we're all here having a great time at Shriekfest. About to go in and have some Shriekteenies. Absolutely.
Nice.
Right? All right. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what you're here to promote.
You go ahead and start. Yeah, I'm Jeff Cox with Four Leagues Media. I'm a producer, and we're here with Psychopath, the short film they've got in the show. We got Matt Vucic, our composer, and
Cooper Thorton, our writer.
So he wrote Psychopath for us, and this year we got accepted in. We decided to come on out. We're from North Carolina,
right on.
East Coasters, so we decided to come on out.
My parents are in Virginia, so
yeah, there you go.
Right on.
Nice. Yeah.
So is it like so short you can't really tell us about it, or do you want to tell us anything?
Yeah, we try to at Four Leagues we try to do twisty turny kind of stories. So it's about a vlogger, and she basically kind of goes out and finds hidden little trails here and there, and she gets lost, and she finds her way to a mysterious cabin that she should not go into, and then maybe some things happen in there that aren't the best for her, or maybe they do. Who knows? You just got to watch it to see.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And I've been saying, there's something about shorts, the risks that you're able to take, the visuals you're able to pull off. It's just people overlook them, and I don't understand it.
Yep. So short films are very cool and very with a full feature you've got a long time to tell a story, and a short you got to tell it in such a short period of time. It's hard to grasp the watcher, the viewer, but we've done a nice job with this one, we think. So hopefully everybody likes it.
All right, most definitely. All right, well, before I let you guys go get your drink on, what do you think the craziest film you've ever seen is, and that's whatever it means to you?
Matt's gonna.
Okay. I'll start, but this might not, because as a composer, it's a different thing. So I didn't start enjoying horror films, believe it or not. So I've only recently started getting it. But I will say what affected me the most that I can remember is Blair Witch Project.
Okay.
Which I know that's kind of on the fence with people, but that one really affected me. So.
I appreciate what it did and how it inspired everybody. If I'm gonna be 100% honest, on me personally, it didn't scare me.
See,
but I definitely was like, this is kind of creepy. Yeah.
The other cool thing about that project was the marketing campaign it did.
Oh my God!
Remember?
Yeah.
That was right. The internet was coming around, and they put a lot of effort into making it look real on the internet. So I thought that was brilliant, and it was a low budget too. So that one really affected me. You got to have one. You got to have.
Honestly, I'm blanking, but I would say this isn't a film. But when the Twin Peaks reboot,
Okay.
Do you know the episode I'm talking about? That's like 45 minutes of avant-garde, random black and white footage, bugs eating bugs, atom bombs blowing up. It was trippy, and I loved every second of it. Didn't understand much of it, but I loved it.
Right on. Me, I'm totally blank, so I left it to these guys.
That's fine. I'm looking forward to it. You guys take care.
All right. Absolutely. Appreciate you.
All right.
Very nice meeting you.
Absolutely, guys. Take care. We're all having a great time here on the red carpet at Shriekfest 19. Gonna have a great festival. Gonna have a good party. And why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what you're here to promote.
I'm Susan McCauley. I'm a writer and producer of The Murdering Kind, which is a short film based on a feature, and it's about a serial killer. It's a character study of a serial killer.
Is it based on a feature, or it's going to be a feature?
It's going to be a feature.
Okay.
I'm Barney Berman, director.
Award-winning makeup artist and director.
Apparently, I'm Academy Award-winning makeup artist and director Barney Berman.
Yes, yes.
And I co-wrote and directed The Murdering Kind.
I'm Sam Boxleitner, and I'm the murdering kind.
He's the murdering
kind. I'm in it. I'm the guy that you see when you watch it.
Fair enough. With a name like Boxlighter, you've been around for a while.
Yeah. We come from a long line of, originally box makers.
Well, and lighters.
Back in the day, and then they lit them. I don't know why.
Fair enough.
But they did it. And the name just stuck. And then we got into the show business. I don't know how that happened either.
It's the show business.
Probably an accident.
Well,
knowing my family. Yeah.
Right on, man. And is it so short you can't really tell us about it, or did you want to tell us a little bit?
It's sort of a sneak peek at a character study of a serial killer.
Okay. Right on. And then before I let you guys go get your drink on, what do you think the craziest film you've ever seen is, or if you feel like what the craziest film you've ever worked on is?
The craziest film I've ever seen is an easy one. That is The Forbidden Zone by Richard Elfman.
Right on.
And it is madness, and I love it.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
It's maybe not the craziest. It pops into my head, and I loved it. It was Time Bandits.
Oh, Time Bandits rules.
Yes, I love Time Bandits.
Wonderfully crazy.
It is. I love Time Bandits.
I don't know. It's hard to say what the craziest I've ever seen, but like recently, I loved Mandy, man.
That movie's so bonkers.
Dude,
no, you're so right.
It's like out there, dude. And it's Nick Cage at like 210% the entire time. And I mean, that's all I needed. I didn't need all the beautiful effects, the beautiful color, the cinematography, the music. It's insane. All of it. The story is just like, what? I'm on acid, you know. I mean, I didn't even take any acid.
Exactly.
Right? That's what's so cool about it. You know? It's like the perfect acid. It lasts like an hour and a half.
There it is.
And it's done.
And no flashbacks 4 years later.
No flashbacks 4 years later. Exactly.
You know what? I'm going to throw another crazy film. One I just finished making called Wild Boar, which is premiering in festivals.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
And it was sadly going to be here, but couldn't make it in time. It's going to be at the Philip K. Dick Film Festival at DystopiaCon in November, and it's pretty insane.
All right, man.
It is. I've seen it.
Thank you so much for talking to me. I'll see you around the festival.
Thanks.
All right. Absolutely.
Thank you.
We're all having a great time here at Shriekfest 19, red carpet, before we go in and have some Shriek Teenies.
Yep.
And why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about what you're here to promote.
So I'm Sean Driscoll. We put together a short called Naughty, and it's a Christmas-themed short, a little 6-minute short. And it's a fun little kind of scary Santa kind of breaks in, does his thing, and the little girl's kind of going to have her way with Santa. And Kevin here's the writer, and his daughter is actually the lead actress in the movie. And she couldn't get into a play. She was kind of frustrated about this play that she couldn't get into. And so we kind of came together, and he said, you know, let's write something for you. And he kind of pitched an idea to me, and then I kind of, my demented kind of thinking, kind of twisted it into a horror movie. And we went ahead and shot it, and she was the lead actress in it. And she won't see the movie. She will not watch the movie at all, because when it plays, she's like, I can't watch this. So,
And that bodes well.
And the play she didn't get into was like a class play in her grammar school. So I was like, what, you can't get into that?
Way better.
Right, this is way better. But now she can't show it to any of her friends or her teacher because it's rated R.
Right.
time. So is it R because of like crazy practical gore?
Well,
whatever you feel like telling us.
Right, well, no, just some language and content.
Yeah, it's language and content, but it's not like too over the top. It's kind of a twist of a little bit of funny, but a little bit of kind of naughty.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just put it that way.
All right, well, before I let you guys walk on down the red carpet, what do you think the craziest film you've ever seen is? And that's whatever it means to you.
Well, I would have to say one of the craziest films for me is there's a sci-fi movie called Silent Running.
Yeah.
Like, that's a crazy movie, right? It's like, here we are, trying to deal with the environment and all this stuff, and Bruce Dern is like this kind of hippie that decides to kill everybody there because they don't want him eating his fucking vegetables.
Right.
I mean, that's a pretty weird movie, but it's a good movie.
Right on, man.
I'm a little more mainstream. I gotta say, Sixth Sense. We went to go see that. I think on the opening weekend with my wife, and we didn't know anything about it. We were just walking past the movie theater. We're like, oh, let's go see that. And then the last 3 minutes of the movie came out. I was like, oh my god! And I've been screwed up for about 15 years after that.
That sounds right. Yeah. Right. Hey, well, I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for talking to me, guys.
All right, thanks.
All right. So we're all having a great time here on the red carpet at Shriekfest 19. Ready to go have some Shriek Teenies. And why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're here to promote.
I appreciate it. I'm Howard Fritkin, and I'm a screenplay finalist, and the script is The Last Adventure of Shea Blaze.
Okay.
Basically, it's a mix between Shane and Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
All right.
So I try to bring something new to both genres, since I'm a great fan of old school westerns, John Ford, Howard Hawks. So it's just trying to get the right combination and the right plots together, and so I came up with something hopefully that'll work
right on, man.
In the end. And I've been having fun with it. And so far it's gotten some attention, and I'm glad that Shriekfest found it entertaining enough to invite me.
Absolutely.
And I thank Denise for all their efforts.
She's wonderful, right?
Unbelievable.
She's like one of the nicest people I think I've ever met.
And I know she's thinking about 3 years from now. It's
right?
Like a chess game. You always have to keep ahead, otherwise
most definitely
you can't accomplish it. So.
All right, well, before I let you get on down the carpet here, what do you think the craziest movie you've ever seen is? And that's whatever it means to you.
Craziest movie, plus one of my favorite all-time films, would probably be The Ninth Configuration.
I've heard of that one, but I haven't seen it. Okay.
William Peter Blatty wrote it and directed it.
Right.
Stacy Keach, if you haven't seen it, stop what you're doing and go watch it now. It's one of the greatest movies ever made.
I love this question because now I got a long list of shit I need to see.
But you put that at the top.
And it's Stacy Keach, that's all you had to say to me. William Blatty, that's all you had to say to me.
Let me tell you, if they gave Stacy Keach a case of Academy Awards for that film, it wouldn't be enough. That's all I can tell you.
Well, thanks for talking to me, man.
Thank you.
I'll see you around the festival.
For sure.
All right, so we're all having a great time here at Shriekfest 19.
Oh, yeah.
Red carpet before we go have our Shriek Teenies. Shriek Teenie. There's a Shriek Teenie.
I don't know about this.
It's wonderful. If you're into alcohol, try it.
Oh, I do like alcohol. I just found out.
All right, so why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about what it is you're here to promote.
My name's Alex Montilla. I wrote and directed a film called Overkill. It's a short film that is, it's your typical slasher kind of teens at a campfire movie. And Amy here plays our lead heroine, and she kills him, he comes back, she kills him, he comes back, she kills him, he comes back, keeps going, and it turns into kind of a Looney Tunes kind of comedy.
I'm so okay with this.
Yeah. And Amy?
I was too. I'm Amy. Hi. I'm a bit of a wimp, so typically when it comes to horror, I like shrink, but this is amazing, so it was good.
Yeah, it's nice and funny, ideally.
Yeah.
All right. So, is it like really crazy short, or is it like a breathable?
14 minutes, so it's breathable. It breathes. Yeah, just enough to kind of lure you in to make you think it's a real horror movie, and then it's a comedy halfway through. So ideally, we get a good reaction on that twist.
All right. Well, before I go, let you get your Shriek Teenie.
Oh yeah.
What do you think the craziest film you've ever seen is? And that's whatever it means to you.
Oh man. What about like a Serbian film? Have you seen that?
No, that counts.
Yeah, Serbian.
Did you see the full cut?
I think so, with the baby and all that. Yeah, that movie's not good. It's real messed up.
It's like that one and Cannibal Holocaust are maybe the only films that make me feel like a normie watching a horror movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. Or what
about, is it Silo, the like German movie, whatever?
Salo.
Salo, yeah.
Or 120 Days of Sodom. The movie that got its director killed. Yes.
Yes. What about you, Amy? Anything fun from South Africa?
I have not seen any of these films, so I don't feel qualified to answer this question at all.
Did you see Princess Diaries 2?
Yes,
pretty crazy.
Alex, it was crazy.
Well, what's your answer? What is it?
Well, there's a South African film that's about to come out. It's a horror film. It's called 8, I believe. And
The number, or as in I ate something?
No, like the number.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks pretty crazy. It looks terrifying.
What's it about?
It's about witch doctors.
Oh, do you have those in South Africa still?
Oh, we do. I may even be one.
Oh, good
there it is.
I am not.
All right, I'm going to have to look into that. Well, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you guys around the festival.
Great.
Go have fun.
Thank you. Shriek Teeny.
So we're all having a great time here on the red carpet, Shriekfest 19.
Yep.
Gonna go get our Shriek Teeny on.
We are.
All right. So why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about what you're here to promote.
Yeah, I'm Michael Raymond from Seattle, Washington. I have a feature screenplay. It's a creepy little techno thriller, kind of a 1984 meets Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Right on.
And it's about a woman cast as a fugitive trying to have her own free will because the society is very totalitarian. Ripped from today's headlines a little bit, but so it's something I enjoyed writing. You asked me the creepiest movie I'd ever seen.
Creepy, crazy, whatever you feel like telling me.
Probably two. The early Peter Jackson splatter movies, Brain Dead, right? And forget the other one, Bad Taste, something.
Bad Taste, yeah. It was Bad Taste,
Meet
then
the Feebles,
Brain Dead.
maybe, yeah.
Fucking Meet the Feebles, dude. The fact that that guy got Lord of the Rings.
That's the other connected. And then probably Eraserhead, when I first saw that, it just kind of shook me up a little bit. So.
Right on.
Anyway, that's it for me.
Right on. Well, thanks for talking to me.
Yeah, man.
I'll see you around the festival.
Thank you.
All right. We're all having a great time here on the red carpet at Shriekfest 19. Gonna go get our Shriek Teeny on.
Yeah.
You gotta have a Shriek Teeny. They're delicious.
Yeah.
So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what it is you're here to promote.
So hey, my name is JD Ostrich. I'm here because I'm the producer and the filmmaker. My director of the movie, he couldn't make it because we are from Belgium, and that's why he asked me to come over here, of course, because I live here, so I come over.
That works.
Yeah. So the movie is about, the title is In Her Shoes, and where we came up with it, my friend, the director, his wife, she wants to go to Spain, and while she was in Spain, she saw all these red shoes with flamingo, and we were thinking like, why we shouldn't make a movie with red shoes, but we're gonna ask a little girl to play the main role in it, and that's how we came up with the idea. So that's the thing.
So is this a script or is this a feature that's playing?
Actually, it's a short movie, and we are working on a big movie, but this is a short movie, and that's why we are here now.
All right. Well, which day are you screening?
Sunday.
Sunday, right on. Yeah, I've been saying, like, there's something about short films that, like, people just ignore them, and I don't know why, because the biggest risks, the biggest crazy ideas are in shorts.
You know, you can tell a lot of story in a short movie of 5 minutes. It can say everything, while you're sometimes watching a movie like 130 minutes and you still don't get it. And in 5 minutes you can tell a story, and if you understand it, you're on the right picture.
There it is, man. All right, well, before I let you go, what do you think the craziest movie you've ever seen is?
Ghostbusters?
I'm okay with that answer. All right, man.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for talking to me. All right. Random question. Where do you stand on Jason Goes to Hell?
Love it.
Thank you.
Love it.
We can be friends.
Absolutely love it. Saw it twice opening day, the day that it came out, 12 o'clock in the afternoon show on Friday, and then the 2 o'clock afternoon show.
That's awesome.
I've actually worked with a few guys that were in the movie, and I never bothered them about it, and it really bugs me.
All right, so we're all having an amazing time here on the red carpet Shriekfest 19. Sure. We're about to go get our Shriek Teeny on.
Absolutely.
You got to try one of those.
Yeah, I'll beat you to that.
All right. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what you're here to promote, man?
My name is Matt Mosley. I am here to represent my script Underground, which is a finalist in the feature competition this year.
Right on, man.
And it's a little story about a suicidal cop that engages with a black market Jack Kevorkian type mercy killer in the hope that he'll help her end his life. But then they are accosted by a cult of subway-dwelling cannibals that are hell-bent on taking over New York City. And throughout, they forge a bond, an unusual bond, obviously, as they struggle to survive and help each other escape the community of flesh-eating beasts.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. So, have you been in a couple of festivals? Is this your first? Or?
This is my first. This is my first. Yeah.
This is a good first.
Yeah, exactly. I'm very, very excited.
Denise is very accepting of those of us that have no experience. Right on, man.
Yeah, so very cool.
Before I let you get on down the carpet, what do you think the craziest movie you've ever seen is?
I'll tell you one of the most disturbing, Human Centipede.
Definitely. Oh, no, I'm down on that.
I think that's every guy's nightmare.
I actually love the first one because it's like plausible but fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the others get a little bit ridiculous, but I mean, you genuinely watch that movie and go, this is fucked.
Well, I'm actually like colorblind. I know, ironic. But so the second one is real special to me because like the gore, there's a level of detail in gore that I can't see. So when it's in black and white, I just went, right on, man.
Actually, I know some people that worked on the third one as extras, and they said that
in the 500,
they owed the casting director owed them some jobs after signing up for that one.
Naturally. All right, man. Well, thanks for talking to me.
Absolutely, man.
We're all having a great time here on the red carpet, Shriekfest 19.
Yes.
And why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about what you're here to promote.
Sure. My name is Riley Rose Critchlow. I'm one of 3 writers on the short screenplay Finger, along with Joe Lieben and Travis Dowling, who are in New York currently. It is a psychological thriller about a man who's visited by a stranger who comes to collect a debt for his past sins.
All right.
Yeah, and we finished shooting it in July, starring Gace McFadden and Corey Rieger, so pretty excited to see how it turns out.
Good times, good times. Wait, so you're screening here?
We're just in the screenplay competition.
Screenplay, okay.
Yeah, but we have since shot it. It just is in pieces and has to be assembled into an actual film.
I got you. I'll let you get on down the red carpet.
Sure.
What do you think the craziest film you've ever seen is?
I mean, it has to be Troll 2. Have you seen Troll 2?
I know. Troll 2, 100. The troll movie with no trolls in it.
No trolls. There's not a single troll. There wasn't a Troll 1.
There was.
Unrelated.
Unrelated, completely.
Completely unrelated. It is not a sequel to it. Yeah. So that's cool. But I also stumbled upon it. It has a huge cult following, but I just randomly found it on Netflix and we started watching it. We're like, what? So,
have you seen Best Worst Movie?
Yes. So good. So good.
That was one of those like, it's a compelling documentary, but at the same time, it's like when they got a hold of the mother and she delivered like the exact same performance, it was like.
And that one guy who had just been like released from a hospital and like didn't know he was in a movie. Yeah, it's incredible.
All right, Shriekfest red carpet before we all go have our Shriek teenies. And, no, that's a real thing. You should have one. They're delicious.
A Shriek teenie.
A Shriek teenie. It's great.
Sounds great. I'm into it.
All right, so why don't you fellas go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what it is you're here to promote.
My name is Jason Brandt. I am the composer on the film and co-executive producer.
What the film?
Oh, the film. Oh, I'm sorry. It's called Max Winslow and the House of Secrets. It's on Saturday at 8:30 p.m. and it's amazing.
All right.
Everything that he said, except I'm not the composer, I am the producer.
All right, man.
I'm Sean Olson. I'm the director and editor and executive producer with these fine gentlemen of Max Winslow. Yes.
Right on. So what can you tell us about the film without being too spoilery?
Shall I do it? Or I guess I'll do it. Okay. So it's a story about 5 kids, 5 teenagers, who are chosen to play a game at this eccentric billionaire's house. And the eccentric billionaire is played by Chad Michael Murray.
There it is.
They go and stay overnight at this house. The house is run by an artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence is voiced by Marina Sirtis of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah, yeah.
Isn't she amazing? She is like the most amazing. Like her voice in this movie, like elevated it to another level. So they stay overnight at this house. They play all these games. All these games are tailored to all the different characters, and then the AI goes berserk, and so each of these characters have to confront themselves, the worst parts of themselves.
Most definitely.
Yes.
Yeah. Right on, man.
So Are they trying to figure? What are you doing?
He's trying to figure out.
Are you colluding?
There's two movies. I know you're going to ask this question, and I'm drawing a blank. There's two movies that freaked me out, and I can't. Oh, I remember. I got one.
Baby's Day Out. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, that counts.
No, I got
that is bonkers.
I got one. I finally thought of it.
So the craziest film you guys have ever seen.
Are we at that point yet?
We're there. We're there.
A couple things I wanted to say though. This guy did an amazing job composing the movie. This guy did a great job producing the movie. We produced it in Arkansas. It was freezing ass cold, 13 degrees, 2 weeks of nights.
Oh wow!
And the cast is stellar. It is. We've gotten really good reviews. We've been a couple festivals. We're fortunate to win a couple of festivals as well.
That's awesome.
So we're really excited about it, and we hope the audience here will love it too.
And this is one of the greatest horror audiences that you can have. And I know we're all supposed to say that, but as a guy who's just a big nerd that Denise was like, yeah, go ahead, come on, have a good time.
Yeah.
This is genuinely one of the greatest horror audiences you can have.
In 2005?
Yes.
Oh, a while ago. Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
When we were 12.
Right?
At least I was 12.
Do you have a favorite piece of music you wrote for the film?
Really the last
Elfman, by the way.
The last 15 minutes. A lot of the movies I work on, for some reason, the last 15 minutes always is like when the clock is ticking, right, and everything's going to happen. And I always enjoy like the first 10 and the last 15. Always, for some reason, I always come back to that. I mean, there's lots of scenes throughout that are amazing, but the last 15 is amazing.
All right, so before I let you go, what craziest film you've ever seen? Where do you want us to start?
I'm going with The Exorcist.
The Exorcist counts.
I still think that Exorcist is legit today. It's still scary. I think it buries everything.
One of these days I'm going to get to see it in the theater because that's when I know it'll get me the most.
I saw it in the theater in 2001 and it was amazing.
That's when they re-released it for the version you've never seen?
Exactly.
Yeah, that was the first time I saw it, but it was on DVD.
I have it on DVD as well. But yeah, I'm going with that.
Right on. And you, sir?
So my dad, not knowing, because he was a little, took me to see Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte.
Oh no!
When I was 10.
No!
Wow!
And I was destroyed for about 3 years after that. I mean, I couldn't sleep in the dark. It was brutal. I never forgave him for it. I was 10. It was brutal.
Right on,
Wicked.
man.
Well, it's not a horror film, but it is a totally messed up movie. Requiem for a Dream.
Dude, no, 100%.
That was the most. After I saw that movie, my jaw dropped, and I said, "What the did I just see?"
I know most people can't
People walk out
at once, right?
No.
But to me, it's like I understand it's full of this horrendous content, but it's full of so many interesting filmmaking techniques that I just can't stop watching.
And Ellen Burstyn is like, dude, so amazing with the gritting teeth and all that, and so amazing, so amazing.
All right, well, thank you so much for talking to me, guys. I can't wait to see it.
Thank you.
All right, I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys at the festival. Sweet. We're all having a great time here on the red carpet at Shriekfest.
The best.
Gonna go have a nice Shriek-tini to celebrate the 19th year.
Yeah.
So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're here to promote?
Sure. My name's Dan Allan. I'm here to promote my short film, The Mime, which might be, I'm trying to find out, it might be the shortest film at the festival, which is quite exciting. So trying to pack in the most scares in the shortest amount of time. It's 3 minutes of carnage and comedy. It's actually a love story. It's not, but it's about this killer mime who first you have to copy him, and then he copies you, and then there's a point at which you then have to copy him to the point of absolute brutality, death, gore, and desecration.
This sounds like a brutal, awesome 3 minutes.
And there's a bigger story still to come, so which is what's very exciting. So,
right, man.
So this is coming to the West Coast, and then there's a feature in the works as well, which is heating up. So.
Is this the first festival you're at, or you've been?
It's been to a couple, yeah. So I did a couple in the UK. I think it might have done one in East Coast already. But yeah, no, I think it's like 5th or 6th maybe.
Right on, man.
Yeah, so no, it's doing well.
All right, well, before I let you ease on down the carpet here, what do you think the craziest movie you've ever seen is?
I still haven't thought of an answer for this, apart from like those dodgy like 80s porn spoofs.
Okay.
Would probably be what I'd say.
All right.
have those parody ones, like the Snow White and Star Wars.
yeah, right on, man. Did you ever see the Alice in Wonderland one?
I haven't, but now I'm excited to.
Alice in Wonderland musical.
Yeah.
Okay. I forget the actress's name, but did you ever see Meatballs?
Ooh, no, I haven't.
The lead, like the blonde in that is the lead in this.
Amazing.
And it's amazing as a film.
Yeah.
For the music, and if you're into the other aspect, it's good there too.
I'm so excited it's a musical. I'm going to call my dad and get a copy.
All right. Thanks for talking to me, man.
Thank you so much, dude.
Take care. We're all having an amazing time here on the red carpet of Shriekfest 19. We're going to go into this crazy DJ Pervula party and have our Shriek-teenies.
Can't wait for that.
Right?
Yeah, well, I have been waiting for that.
Well, yeah, everybody's waiting for it.
Yeah.
So why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about what you're here to promote.
My name is Zeke, and I made a documentary horror film about myself. It's a memoir horror film. I documented selling everything that I own, and as it turns out, some possessions are easier to get rid of than others.
All right. I like this. This is intriguing. So when do you screen?
I screen on Sunday at 2 p.m.
Is it a short or?
It's a short.
It's a short, okay.
Yeah, it's a long short.
Long meaning?
18 minutes.
That counts. That counts. All right. Right on, man. Well, before I let you squawk around down the carpet, what do you think the most crazy film you've ever seen is?
The craziest film I've ever seen is Forrest Gump. I can't believe they made that movie. It was so bad.
No,
and it won like Oscars, and it was like terrible. Forrest Gump is the craziest movie ever made.
I definitely like I appreciate some of the filmmaking of it, but it's
so what? Of course they should be able to make a movie.
No, I mean like the realism of certain times they inserted him. Sometimes
Gary
really
Sinise's no legs, that was not real.
Well,
okay.
Well,
all right.
All right, fair enough. Then.
Okay, fair enough. We can agree to disagree.
It's only the fact that like I was forced to learn a bunch of that music when I played trumpet as a child.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know.
Okay, well, you'll get over it.
All right, man.
All right.
I'm looking forward to your film. I'll see you around.
Nice to meet you.
Take care, man. All right, so we're all having a great time here on the red carpet at Shriekfest.
Yes, we are.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're here to promote?
Hi, my name is Amanda Curie. I'm an actress from Toronto, Canada, and I'm here to promote Do Not Reply. It's a film about a young introverted girl, Chelsea, who finds a cute boy online named Brad, and he ends up not being the person on his profile, and she gets kidnapped, and things happen. Watch it.
All right, big, crazy, gory things, I assume.
Yeah, crazy things.
Right on. Well, before I let you get on down the carpet, what do you think the most crazy film you've ever seen is?
The craziest film I have seen is Gaspar Noé's Climax. Yeah, they have... I watched it in, I think, 70 millimeters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they have this one scene in a theater, and the sound was just crazy. The opening dance sequence is absolutely stunning. Crazy, beautiful. And then when they start to get in on those drugs that they're all in, some people die. A child is dead. It's crazy. I don't know. It was pretty wild. I left the theater thinking, like, what did I just watch, and why did I do that to myself?
Well, about this, I'm actually red colorblind. I know, ironic. So the last 10 minutes of that movie was even creepier to me. Because I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Right, well, thanks so much for talking to me. I'm looking forward to the film.
Thank you.
And I'll see you around the festival.
Nice talking to you too. Thank
all right. So we're all having a great time here on the red carpet Shriekfest 19. And why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us what you're here to promote.
Okay, hey, it's Karen Metters, and I'm an actress in the film of Do Not Reply.
Right on, yeah. Interviewed a few of your co-stars here.
Yeah, you have. So you're getting the little story.
That's totally fine, though, because just the image of him and whatever that helmet is enough to make me go,
right?
I'll watch this.
You're like, it looks great. But yeah.
So who do you play? Or?
I play Megan, and she is someone you'll find out who's already in the house, if you get it.
Okay.
And she has Stockholm Syndrome.
Oh, there it is. Right
yeah.
On. All right.
So I play a very interesting, complex human.
Cool. All right, well, before I let you get going here, what do you think the craziest movie you've ever seen is?
The craziest movie I've ever seen. Something that really inspires me is there's a movie, Gone Girl.
Yeah.
And that really trips me out. Like, I think about it because you're like, oh, we're on this story of like, oh, she gets it, and we understand that he did it. And then you're like, wait, this was all a plan all along. And it's like the craziest film, and it opens up my eyes, and I'm like, this is insane. So.
And I love how, like, it doesn't matter what's happening in any scene. Like, he populates every bit of the image with enough information that even if for whatever reason you're bored with the action, you can keep going along the rest of its film.
You can just keep going, and like there's something new and there's something else. It's just crazy. It's a crazy film. Yeah.
Well, thanks for talking to me. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
All right, take care. We're all having a great time here on the red carpet at Shriekfest. 19th year, gonna go have a mad Shriek-teeny.
Yes.
So, what are you doing here, man? Introduce yourself.
My name is Christopher Gregson, and I actually built the trophies this year.
Right on.
Yeah, so I had to build 10 of the trophies. It's got a big, heavy base. It's got a film reel, a film strip wrapped around, and it's got this nice, big, bloody saw blade at the top. And I had a lot of fun making them.
So, like, did you cast them and paint them and everything, or?
I did, yeah. I was given some silicone molds, and so there's a 2-part silicone mold, and then just a regular silicone mold that I had to flip upside down for the base. And I mixed a 2-part epoxy, parts A and part B, and then it gets hard really fast. You have to pour it just right, and take the casting out. And I had to sand it and scrape off the edges, and then I had to wash them so the paint would adhere to it, and all kinds of different paints.
It's a process.
It's a lot. It takes a lot of time. And some of the paint takes like several days for it to dry. So,
wait, really?
Yeah, like oil paint takes a long time to dry.
Yeah.
It really does, yeah. So I did.
But it also lasts the longest, right?
Yeah, it lasts the longest. You get the best colors out of it.
Right on.
So yeah, it was a ton of fun. I'm really happy to have been a part of this year's festival.
Hey, man, you can't win a trophy if there aren't trophies.
That's right. Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for talking to me, man.
Great. Thank you.
All right. We're all having a great time here on the red carpet, Shriekfest 19.
Absolutely.
We're gonna go hear DJ Purbulus spin the great horror tunes and get ourselves a Shriek-teeny. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves? Tell us what you're here to promote.
I'm Brandon Wardle, and I'm here to promote Stay Out, Stay Alive with our fearless director.
I'm Dean Yoka. I'm the director. Hello. Oh yeah, promoting the same film. I'm not even promoting it. You know, being a director, you always like go, oh, I'm too embarrassed to promote things. I'm going to step back and let Brandon do it all.
Well, how does it feel to have a finished film and be in the festival?
It feels absolutely incredible. It really does, because it took so long to get a film made, and you know the struggles, and then especially with a feature, you're like, when you start rolling on it on the first day, you really realize why it took so long to get one made, because you go, this is real work. This is fucking hard. And then you're like, but I wanted this so badly, it's my own fault, so shut up and get on with it. And so, I know, and to be at this stage, because there's so many things that can go wrong with making a film. Every day you're like, what can go wrong? And you try and plan around that. And then so, you know, get through one day, you're like, how did I do that? Then the next day, and then finally comes together, and you're like, I've survived, but now I've got to put it all together. And then it's like that every day again. You're like, did I have enough footage? Did I get everything? And then you're like, you just keep going. So to be at this stage and still be friends with the cast.
There it is. We didn't murder each other.
Yeah, it's just
at least not off camera.
You know, it's just wonderful. You know, so you know, you're always doubting yourself, and you're sort of like I was saying earlier. It's like 50% you're really embarrassed by everything you've ever done, and the other 50% is you're incredibly proud. You've got to be at this place, so you've got to have that humility and just sort of remember that it's a real blessing to be able to make films.
Well, I tell you what, the room that we screen in, you couldn't ask for a better crowd and B comfort situation. It's just so plush.
I'm
so excited.
Well, it's great to be to make films that people actually want to see. You know what I mean? It's like I want to make a film that entertains you. You know, you sit there and like, I'm loving this. You know, that's the sort of film I want to watch. And so to watch it with like-minded people is, I know, it's brilliant. I'm so happy, especially to be in Los Angeles. So
yeah,
you know, it's great.
Do you guys want to tell us anything about the film itself?
Yeah, the film is basically the descent into madness of 5 friends when they discover like a disused gold mine.
Okay.
And there's actually gold in the mine, and one of the characters, she gets trapped in this mine, and they're going to rescue her, but then they find out there's actually loads of gold in there. So if they stay, they'll kind of do all right. So they have to sort of decide whether to rescue and call in the Rangers to get her rescued, or to mine the gold. And then every day they kind of come up with like reasons why they should stay, and they're all in it. But after a while you start realizing why there's so much gold and why it's still there. So yeah, that's the kind of, it's like a what would you do kind of like plot, but then it's a haunting kind of element.
All right. You guys have a favorite memory of making the film? Both of you.
talking over Brandon completely. Yeah. Every day. I mean, honestly, there's so many, you know, and you're just so thankful. I just really am. Yeah. I'm really happy. I'll always look back on it and just be thrilled and petrified, but yeah, it's so much better. Like, it's when you dodge a bullet, you feel great afterwards. But when it's coming at you, you're like oh, yeah. So that's the best.
What about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of were just talking about it over there, but I mean, like, day one of filming was just like an absolute downpour, and the property that we were filming on, like, there was like big hills and switchbacks, and it got muddy very quickly. The equipment truck got stuck. His car got stuck and almost went back off a cliff. But just seeing everybody come together day one. I got poison oak day one all over my arm. So
it wasn't.
So for me, like, what was fun, like, the memory is the physicality. Just like such an indie film where you're like, this is really like water up to your waist, getting sprayed with the hose, shirtless. Those moments where you're like, and everybody's just in it together. It was such a blast and such a physical film that it's hard not to enjoy it, because you're like, this is what I'm doing right now. Like, somebody's sitting at a desk and I'm just playing in the mud in this mine shaft. So it was really fun.
No, it's like you're saying, like I get to do this. Like, the couple films I've gotten to work on, whenever I would call my lady, she'd be like, I've never heard you this happy, yet also telling me how hard this is.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because it's this.
Yeah. It's like going to the moon. It's like, it's not going to be easy, but you'll do it. So, yeah.
Right on. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Before I let you guys get going here, what do you think the craziest film you've ever seen is? And that's whatever it means to you.
I'm such a cop-out. First of all, I can't, even though I'm in a thriller, I can't watch them because I have such a sensitive imagination, but...
that's why I can't read horror.
Yeah.
Because my brain just takes it.
Yeah, it takes it, then it just keeps going after you finish the book. I think I'm going to do a two-part answer. One, we were just talking about Requiem for a Dream. I don't think it's like outlandish, but like it was so well made and so different than I think just like other films. So that one, and then I think complete 180. Dumb and Dumber on paper versus Dumb and Dumber of what it actually became out as, I think is like, how did this movie just become the greatest thing ever? But that's my answer.
I love that. I mean,
that's a fine answer. I'll accept it.
Yeah, crazy film that you actually set through. That's the thing. You know, you start watching a crazy film, you go, I'm sorry, I can't get through this one. So, you know, define crazy. It's like,
whatever it means to you. So for me, it's something like Jodorowsky's Fin de Elise, or Gaspar Noé's Climax, or Pasolini's Salo.
Wow. Well, I'm a big fan of Dario Argento, so I think something like Tenebro.
All right.
You know, I mean, it's not crazy, but it is quite crazy. You know, it's like an Agatha Christie with just a fantastic soundtrack, and you know, and
it's Argento.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but it's not really crazy. But that's my answer.
Right on, man.
Okay, there we go.
Well, thank you guys so much for talking to me. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much.
All right, so we're all having a great time here on the red carpet, Shriekfest 19. We're gonna go hear DJ Pergula spin a bunch of great horror music and have a Shriek-tini.
Alrighty.
All right. So why don't you ladies go ahead and introduce yourselves? Tell us what you're here to promote.
I am Gigi Bannister. I am the director and producer of the Women of the Women of Phantasm, the documentary with balls, and it is a document.
Oh yeah, no. Let's move on. I forgot. This drips. This drips. This drips.
That was Angus Grimm putting his 2 cents in.
There it is.
It's the documentary with balls. Okay, it's about the Women of Phantasm because over the years there's been 40 plus years, 144 women in front of and behind the scenes. Nobody has ever asked them anything beyond what was it like to work with Don Coscarelli or Reggie Bannister until now. And we have tracked them down, we have talked to them, and we have discovered a whole tapestry of their lives blending with our lives of phantasm. And our family just got a whole lot bigger.
There it is. Right on.
So it's going to be, the trailer will be showing 10:30 on Saturday night at Shriekfest.
All right.
And Sarah Scott Davis was in Phantasm 3.
Yes, I was in Phantasm 3, and I have to say it was an absolute honor to be one of 2 African American women in the Phantasm series.
Who kicked ass?
Who kicked some ass? So we were tough, we were sexy, we showed up. I mean, it was really an honor. It was fantastic to do that. Yeah, because I was always playing, like the girl next door, very sweet, So when I had the opportunity to actually, pick up a gun and tote a gun and kick some ass and let loose, I was just like, this is great, I can use my kickboxing skills.
All right, there it is. Why have them else? Yeah. All right. Well, before I let you guys get onto the party, what do you think the craziest film you've ever seen is? And that's whatever it means to you.
A Boy and His Dog.
Yeah. I like that answer. I like that answer a lot. It's just one of those you're like, where are we going? Oh, well then. And you?
I love the line about, I liked her left breast.
Right?
The film that comes up for me is Swimming with the Sharks.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about that movie.
Right?
The paper cuts in the hot sauce?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That one, it will stick with me for the rest of my life. Okay? I mean, that kind of laid the groundwork for Hollywood for me.
It's like any Frank Whaley day, it's a good day.
Yeah.
Reggie always says that his is bugs.
Bugs, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Right on.
So it's so cool meeting you.
All right, well, thank you so much for talking to me.
It's our pleasure.
Are you guys going to be here for the whole festival?
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'll see you around.
Okay.
All right, take care. We're all having a great time here at Shriekfest 19 on the red carpet. Going to go into this party.
Absolutely.
So why don't you go to introduce yourself? Tell us what you're here to promote.
My name's Brian W. Smith. I'm a short script finalist for He Sees You, which is a holiday horror script. Basically, the pitch is what if Kane Hodder played Santa?
Dude, yes!
And that was what I saw, and I wrote it as that. And he torments this poor little girl on Christmas morning, and
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, and it got in, and Denise liked it, and so I'm happy to be here. I'm really happy to be here. So yeah.
Before I let you go, what do you think the craziest movie you've ever seen is?
The craziest movie, off the top of my head, it has to be Pieces, which is one of my favorites. But
I haven't seen it, but I am familiar.
Oh my God, no! It's one of those films. It's like The Room of horror. Like once you see it, you have to share it. Like you have to show it to people. And it's one of those movies.
Man.
They've been crazier, but that's one of them. Yeah.
I've been loving this question because now I got a long list of shit I need to find.
Absolutely.
All right,
man.
Definitely
one to get. Right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care, man. Actually, I ran into you a couple years ago at LA Comic-Con, and I blew you up about Dread because that movie fucked with me really hard.
Oh, dope. Yes. Holy shit. Dude, that's been a minute.
Yeah.
Michael, dude, good to see you again.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime I'm around this many artistic types is a good time.
That's how I feel.
And I'm just a big old nerd that Denise gave a shot to, and now I'm given access to all these great people and you, so.
Dope, man. Dope. You're like all the great people, and then this asshole.
This guy.
This dude's back.
But no, I'm sorry, I gotta nerd out, because, I love horror, but it doesn't usually affect me.
Yeah.
And, dude, when he fucking axes you, and your eyes, and he's just staring.
Yeah.
I saw that one time at a pre-screen when they were still trying to get it in theaters, okay?
Yeah.
I've never forgotten that image.
That's so awesome.
It's so badass, man.
Oh, dude, that's so cool, man. Well, Anthony, our director, is he and I've been trying to figure out another project for years. But he kicked the fuck out of that. That project's amazing.
And I'm really stoked for this one right now, too. So we're all having a great time here at Shriekfest 19. We're going to go into this party, have a big old Shriek-tini.
Oh, nice.
They're wonderful.
As long as there's some Shriek snacks, too.
Oh, yeah, no, they're there.
Amazing.
All right, so why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what it is you're here to promote.
Hey, guys, it's me, Jackson Rathbone. I'm here with Do Not Reply. It's a social media thriller set in the modern age about an introverted high school student named Chelsea who gets abducted by a bad dude named Brad, that's me, and forced to participate in his virtual reality filmed murders. it's a heavy piece, and it's something that I'm really excited to debut here at Shriekfest.
So this is the world premiere?
This is the world premiere Sunday. We actually sold out one of the theaters, so they're moving us to another theater, so we might even have 2 or 3 theaters going. So if you're interested, please get your tickets now.
Oh, I'm at every screening. That's
You
why I'm here.
better be, man. I want to see you there.
Absolutely, man. All right, well, before I let you go on down the carpet, what do you think the craziest movie you've ever seen is?
Man, craziest movie I've ever seen. There's been so many. I'm gonna go with Tromeo and Juliet. You know, like one of the Truman films. Probably a lot of your fans know them. Like they're the real deal films. Like OG James Gunn. Yeah, but Tromeo and Juliet. If you haven't seen it and you're not squeamish, go check it out.
Yeah, definitely not squeamish.
It's a grotesque film.
Right on, man. Well, thank you so much for talking to me.
Michael, always a pleasure.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'll see you Sunday, right?
Absolutely, you will.